to her. Then we come to the network attacks, man in the middle. This is also known as an eavesdropping attack, which literally means that you are going to listen in on to somebody's conversation. For example, in the figure, the client is trying to talk to the server, but you become a man in the middle and you try to listen in on the conversation that is going on. Now, obviously, the conversation over here may not be audio, but be data that is being exchanged between the server and the client. You just listen in, you make a copy of that data and you store it at your end. The data could contain usernames, passwords, may contain confidential information and help you compromise data. The attacking computer takes the IP address of the client. So you find out the IP address of the client. The client is not aware about this. The client is trying to communicate with the server. You spoof yourself as a default gateway or a trusted device, and the client thinks that it is through you that they need to communicate to the server, and thus they start sending data via your PC. So this attack normally happens on public Wi-Fi networks. I've seen that happening a lot, and thus I never recommend anyone using those public Wi-Fis. For example, you go to a coffee shop, they have free Wi-Fi over there, you connect to it and you start surfing, you start browsing. You are always signed into Google, Facebook accounts, your bank accounts and whatnot. And then there's a sniffer, there is a hacker who's doing a man-in-the-middle attack, capturing all that data. Now, it's not an easy attack, but it can be done. So this diagram shows where the man-in-the-middle attack has become successful, and now that the client and the server both are sending information via the attacker without knowing that the attacker is capturing all that data. So here in this example, here suppose you're in trouble and you need money right now, and you call your friend and ask for money. So here the person is calling John, telling John that they're in trouble, and they're asking for John to give their credit card number over the phone. Now, this is a legitimate transaction. The friend is actually calling John and asking for some help. However, when John is providing that help over the phone with the credit card numbers, maybe the CVV number and all of that, and then the OTP at the end of it, at the same time, there could be a hacker doing a man-in-the-middle attack where they could be eavesdropping on whatever is being said or whatever data is being transferred. And once they capture this confidential data, they can then misuse that data to their own gains. Then comes the denial of service attack. The motive in a DOS attack is not to benefit monetarily, but to bring down a service for legitimate users, thus just causing harm to the organization. For example, if I consume the bandwidth of to a particular website, since there's no more bandwidth left, other legitimate users who want to interact with the website will not be able to connect to the website, thus creating a denial of service to those legitimate users. Now, it may not be possible for me to use my laptop to target a cluster of servers, because obviously the bandwidth at the other end would be very high. So I would distribute my attack across multiple devices, thus creating a distributed denial of service, also called a DDoS attack.